This week's Voice Party is brought to you by IOPvideo.com. We're all stuck inside and content is king right now. So if you want to create some content, have some video shot, advertise your small business, start a podcast, whatever, check out IOPvideo.com. We do it all and we will do it all for you. IOPvideo.com. We make things look pretty.
Well, I believe everybody's here, so welcome to the Voice Party, Lilith.
Yeah, turn up. Man, it's been a long time since I've seen you guys, now that I think about it. Since the last showcase, I think.
Yeah, what was that? Like in, when was that? August?
That was in January, I think.
January.
This pandemic, I just can't keep track of the months anymore.
I know. It's like it's been 2020 for
3 years. It's like normal is not normal anymore.
Yeah, no, I'm still, sometimes I wake up, especially during this pandemic. Oh, well, I'll be honest, I was unemployed way before this started, but I just wake up and like, do I even need to get up for anything today? So I just kind of plan like random.
Tell me about it. Like I just randomly went to go work in the park doing yoga and doing some vision boards in the park earlier today, just randomly.
Did I get knocked out?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hello? Hello?
JD, you okay?
I think we lost JD.
Oh, he'll be back.
The only time you can get kicked out of your own podcast is during the apocalypse.
Right. He'll be back.
It looks like we lost Joaquin as well.
Yeah, well, he's on Metro, so we always lose him.
All right.
One of these days, we'll get him a big boy job, and then he can get a real phone.
I heard T-Mobile lost everybody today.
No, well, that was yesterday when they had the...
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they're back. They both came back at the same time. Did they come back? Jadles? Martin, you guys there?
I'm back.
Okay.
Hello.
It looks like JD lost his Jadles and Jaggles. It's like, who's Jaggles?
You good, JD?
Sounds like our guest is here.
Yep, we're pretty much all here. JD, I think, is still having his technical issues.
Well, while we wait, Lilith, you want to tell us a little bit about, get us started about yourself?
Yeah, so I am a chef, and I have a couple of businesses out here in Stockton now. I just moved back to my hometown. And I do catering and meal prep, all vegan, all plant-based. I teach people how to live healthier lifestyles, and I help people mostly who can't cook for themselves. And I do a lot of meal prep for the elderly and people who have a lot of health problems that they need, really specific diets.
Okay, and do you focus on events, or is this just people that need their meals?
I do that, but yeah, most recently I just been asked to do a lot of private parties, or go to someone's house and cook dinner for them. I know on Mother's Day I was actually really romantic and take flowers and cook this woman a whole 4-course breakfast in mimosas. I had posted about that. I think in my stories, it was late post, but I actually tomorrow I'm doing a dinner for some people, and that's going to be pretty cool. They haven't told me exactly what they wanted for the menu yet. It's going to be
okay.
Yeah, it's being planned right now. But tomorrow I'm doing another dinner and just a little private event. And I've been getting booked for more stuff like that, and for meal prep here and there. And I started an Arbonne business this year, and that's all natural vegan products. And the link to that is in my bio. And I've been working on some music. And I've been working on a few shows of my own out here. And that's pretty exciting.
How many shows or music shows?
Well, so I'm working on music. I have a single that I'm working on. It's called Dream Big. And I'm working on a podcast with my aunt. It's called The Cherry Commentary. And then I have a friend who is also a chef, and we're working on for him a cooking show. So that's happening.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. Sorry, I as a vegan, I'm not gonna lie. I've tried so many times to go plant-based, and like the transition is hard. I can't get past the headaches. You know what I'm talking about? Like when you change up your diet from like eating like meat almost 3 times a day to suddenly you're, after that, the second meal of no meat, and your body kind of has the shakes from like, I don't feel like I've ate today, even though I've ate,
Yeah, well, I mean, Martin and Phil, they've both had my food, so you can ask them. It's not that hard when you're eating my food. I can't vouch for everybody because I know everybody can't make really great vegan food, but there's a lot of recipes that are easy to do that are really great for beginners that you can find on YouTube, or just if you do a little bit of research, a little bit of, it takes a little bit of experimenting, with what you like. Everybody likes different stuff. So it's all about finding your niche and what you really like to do, and if you like something, you'll stick to it. You gotta really find what you like.
It's true.
Like I like pizza, so I have to have it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, if for the most part, I love all kinds of cuisines. I don't think there's a single cuisine that I've tried and I haven't had at least one dish from that culture that I'm like, I don't like, I just don't like that cuisine at all. You know what I mean? Like there's at least 1 or 2 dishes where I'm like, those are my go-to. And vegan food is no exception. I will say this, like if I could guarantee that every vegan dish that I get was as good as yours, like I might consider switching over, to the side of the Jedi, but for the most part, since I can't guarantee that every vegan dish is going to be that awesome, I'm rocking with the Sith for the most part. But I have myself some vegan lasagna every now and then, some vegan pizza, every now and then. Like, I have a taste for something, but for the most part, I like a good blend of different things. It's like, get your animal stuff here, and then like some salad or some sautéed. Some sautéed or caramelized Brussels sprouts. Excellent. You know what I mean? But
yes,
maybe a piece of fish. But that's that's me. I'm but love a good vegan meal every now and then, like a wholesale one. Oh my gosh, it's good, and especially if you're making it.
I mean, like you have to put love into it. You can't just throw some things together and all the time and be happy. Like you really. If you're cooking food that you love, like some people love, people who are not vegan, they love fried chicken, so they'll go through all the work, so buy all the spices that they love for it, and if you treat your plant-based diet the same way you put all the love into that you put your, normally, it'll come out good. Make sure you season it really good. Make sure you add salt. I mean, there's vegan butter, there's vegan cream, there's so many different products that you can use and to substitute and get the same flavors and profiles. And there's really no excuse when it comes to flavor, because there's so many different flavors and like so many different fruits and vegetables that you've never even heard of. Like I've seen people make barbecue ribs out of jackfruit, and that's like, like I have to try that. Like I'm gonna definitely try that next.
I've seen that, and out of portobello mushrooms too. And I actually tried. Like I do sometimes recreate it because, I mean, there's a lot of flavor in vegetables. Like I don't know, certain dishes, like if we can recreate it, like I don't think there's anything you can't recreate with vegetables now. I mean, now that it's become more popular, people are sharing recipes like through different cultures. It's kind of a game changer. Like I've seen jackfruit carnitas for tacos, like there's a whole lot of it's a new world right now with that. And I've seen like the growth of plant-based diets like over time. For you, as far as like obviously health-wise? What else has it done for you?
When I am on a 100% plant-based diet, 'cause sometimes I do have my cheat moments.
What's the cheat moment for you?
A cheat moment? Okay, so I don't know if you know anything about my background, but I come from a family of chefs and restaurateurs. So my stepdad had this restaurant before the apocalypse hit. He makes soul food and barbecue. And he makes the best smoked ribs you will ever have. And I mean, people will travel all the way from the Bay Area. He used to have a place called Big Rose Seafood, and now it's Roro's Seafood in downtown Stockton, but they're closed down now. So that happened. But ribs are like, soul food really takes me back to my roots. And that's comfort food for me. But I have more energy. I am happier. Like I don't know. Like it seems like you can accomplish more in it. Like there's more time in a day sometimes.
Okay.
When you have more energy, like more in. And I use the word tired a lot less. I'm less tired all the time. I mean, that's mostly it. Like I feel healthier. I feel happy. I don't feel sluggish. I don't want to, I want to get out and do things. I want to be active. I don't want to be like a couch potato watching TV. Like when I'm eating junk, like I don't want to do anything. I get lazy. I procrastinate. But when I eat healthier, like I'm so much more of a productive person in general.
Do you still cook meat though? Like you said, you do meal prep for older people. I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of meal prep for people who have all different types of diets. Okay. The only thing I promote is that I am a vegan chef, and I do help people who have gluten-free diet, and so I specialize in that. Mm-hmm. But I do have a lot of clients who are not vegan and refuse to go to live this lifestyle.
Right.
So
that's kind of like, that's cool that you're not, because some I would say vegans that I know, like when it comes to meat, they're like squeamish about it now. Like have you never got like that way, because based on your background, you have barbecue in your blood. You've never you never felt like that, because I've heard of some people that are like, now they're squeamish about it. It's like oh my god,
I had been, because I had been vegan and out on my own after I had my son, and I was away from my family for a little bit, so I didn't have that temptation. But then I had moved back home for a little while, and I was working in the restaurant, and they were just like right there, and then once you cut into them, it's kind of like one of those things. It's one of my favorite things to do was eat ribs. It still is. But I want to be healthy. I want to be around, my son gets older. I want to be able to still play and hula hoop and hike, and shoot, I still want to learn how to wrestle.
Really?
I mean, there's so many things I want to do. I want to be able to move. I love to get out and do yoga, but like when I'm eating junk and I'm feeling gross, I'm not motivated to do those things.
I'm gonna tell you something. As a person that's moved before, it's not worth it. Eat that barbecue. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, every now and then isn't gonna kill you though, right? I mean, it's not like you're gonna be eating ribs every day.
No, it's not. And that's the whole thing. Like you really have to find what's balanced, what balances for you. Like it's just like with alcohol and cigarettes and marijuana and any kind of narcotic or carcinogen that you can put in your body. Like it's not good for you. It's not healthy. It's a drug, and
But it's so much fun.
It is. All that stuff is so much fun. But most of the fun stuff it does damage to your body. Right. When you're abusing it and using it long term.
Yeah.
So it's really good to also detox from those things, give your body a break, and like rejuvenate. And come back to life. Like you really can't kill yourself if you're abusing, especially so many different things like sugar and salt, oil, deep fried foods.
So
sugar is a huge one for most people. Like that is the reason that we have such high obesity and diabetes rates. In this this part of the world, because like people are just taking in. Because my grandfather had said, when Coke first came out, talking about Coca-Cola, not the narcotic, but the soda. So when Coke first came out, it was like this extra special treat that you got every now and then. And now, he feels like a lot of people are like, no, now it's like a mandatory. We have a Coke a night, sometimes two, sometimes 3 a day. Like,
yeah.
What's water? What water? What you mean that stuff that sits in the toilet? Why would you want to drink that?
I had a friend of mine tell me, he said, I want to lose 5 pounds on my birthday. And it's like 6 weeks from now. And I'm like, dude, do you drink soda? I was like, just stop drinking soda. There goes your 5 pounds. It'll just disappear. Drink water instead of sugary drinks. There goes, you'll see a lot of change just by making little subtle changes here and there.
What were you saying, Gaspar?
So it's someone who knows nothing about a vegan diet. How do you get started?
Okay, so what I would tell somebody who's getting started, just eat mostly vegetables. Eat mostly, carbs, vegetables. Like dark leafy greens. If you can, the stuff that you like pick vegetables and fruits that you like, that you're gonna eat, that's not gonna waste in the fridge. Don't buy too much. Don't go crazy. Just buy what you need and what you're gonna eat for a couple of days, and just take it. Take it one day at a time. Like maybe have a meatless meal or a meatless lunch, or maybe like a couple of meatless meals during the day. Try a veggie burger. Try veggie hot dogs. My son loves the veggie light hot dogs, and the Morningstar products, and he loves the vegan the fake fish that they make out of soy. And I have these tamales on my menu that I make from soy, from tofu and cauliflower that the carnivores in my family and my customers, they love it. People who don't subscribe to the vegan lifestyle, they love it, and keep ordering.
I think I might try that because my kid, I don't know where she picked it up from, where she heard it or saw it. She's like, I don't want to eat animals. I don't want to eat meat. I'm like, you're 5. You can't be vegan at 5. Like, you still have to grow. So I think I'm gonna try that because, like, as soon as she knows that it comes from an animal, she won't eat it, and I'll have to find something else for her to eat. So I think I might try some of that stuff for her, and then I'll end up eating it anyways.
Yeah,
count your blessings. My son is addicted to bacon, and my grandparents feed that addiction.
My brother has been vegan for 5 years now, and it seemed crazy when he told me he's going vegan. At first, I thought it was like he telling me like he's gonna become a priest or something. Whoa, like really, that's what it seemed like to me, But then one day we were eating, he came to my parents' house and we're having like some chicken or something. I forgot what it was, and he, I was like, wonder what this motherfucker gonna eat, Cause the meal, I think it was like chicken mole or something, and we always have bean soup, so he just had bean soup with onions and tomatoes and peppers and tortillas. It was like, oh, okay, so you're just eating beans. Okay.
It'd be like that sometimes. I feel like nobody's ever ready for a vegan to come over. Like, right. And I'm not really a salad eater. Like, I'll eat a salad, but salads are not my go-to. Yeah. When I'm hungry. Like, I like substantial filling. Like, I like roughage. Like I have to be full. Like, I like to feel, I hate. Yeah. Oh yeah, I hate being hungry after I just ate. Like, that's like the worst feeling. So I know, like, you just have to know like what to really eat. Like, bulk up on like really good grains like quinoa and barley and farro. Like, really just try different things. And rice and beans are so filling. Tortillas, like those things are vegan. I have Mexican food so much, like, but I love it.
Yeah, I you just mentioned something. Like, I never thought in my head, in my own free will, like, oh, I'm craving a salad,
Nah. No, not me either.
Yeah, that's like I started seeing like how he eats, and when you think about, like, for example, you just mentioned like Mexican food is so easy to make vegan because the main staple is like some kind of salad or not salad, but like a pico de gallo, and you could add we had cactus to it, and avocado, onion, cilantro, and then you can add that literally to like a bean soup and eat it with tortillas, and it's very filling. Yeah, and
there's chicken substitutes. I mean, you can make all the same things that you make regular, and use like a substitute, or use potatoes instead, or use cauliflower, or just substitute for mixed vegetables,
right?
And still have a great meal. Yeah,
and then you don't have to feel like like it sometimes at first it felt like when you have a family member that's disabled, like, oh, I got to put the ramp up, whenever a vegan was coming, because it's like, it had that weird vibe to it. But then it's really, because my parents, for them, it was easy to cook for him, because they grew up in a farm in Mexico where you didn't eat meat every day, and it was all beans and vegetables. And to think about it that way, it's like you're kind of eating how some of our ancestors kind of ate, because meat was a luxury up till recently when we had industrial farms.
My friends who lift weights out here, they tell me like, I need to eat real food. I need to eat meat, because I'm trying to put on muscle. I'm like, well, what does a rhino eat? Like, what does a gorilla eat?
Yeah.
Like, and these are some of the strongest animals in the world.
True.
Yeah, they eat greens all day.
What do cows eat?
They're definitely not omnivorous, that's for certain.
No, and that's where the strength comes from. That's where animals get their power from. You got to have your macro, your micronutrients. You have to have every color of the rainbow, vegetable, fruit in your diet. It's just gonna make a healthier, better you, a happier you at the end of the day, and that's what you want.
Unless of course you're a lion, right? But there's a reason that lions taste bad, right? Like a certain.
Do
like
they
you
really
can't
taste
eat
bad?
carnivores.
How do you know that?
Tell us more.
You cat eater. I thought they talked about Asian people bad, but they should be talking about us.
I would never eat a cat. I've read that carnivores taste terrible because they don't have a plant-based diet. Like,
you know what? Our ancestors who were mauled by lions would probably be proud if we ate lion.
Oh no!
I got a question for you. How do you get your B12? That's the one that I hear that's hard to eat as a vegan.
Well, so a lot of people I know, even people who are not vegan, use these B12 drops, and I bought them in like pill form, and sometimes you can see on the back of the Red Bulls they have B12 in them too.
That's I worried about that not worried, but
I'm not saying that I'm not promoting Red Bull. It's not healthy. It's not good. But you can find it in different health drinks and beverages, or even some snack bars. It's not a hard thing to incorporate into your diet.
And that's the thing. Like when I talked about with a friend about possibly picking up a plant-based diet, I was thinking about it. It's like, and then the first thing they said, you're gonna have to take your B12 vitamins because you're not gonna whatever. And then I thought to myself, like, I eat mostly junk food. Like, I'm probably not eating that as it is. I'm probably not eating B12 as it is. So like that's because that's one of those things. Like, as soon as there's a lot of like misinformation about veganism or what when you like they said you need to build for calcium, and you realize there's like there's a lot of other stuff that you can stuff that you can.
It's like you can have every excuse in the world, but to be honest, like before I started this eating plant-based or becoming or started to live a vegan lifestyle, like I'm sure I was way more malnourished than when I decided I'm going to eat more fruits and vegetables instead of all that crap that I was eating. So at the end of the day, like I just looked at it that way. Like I'm making healthier decisions, and as long as you're making healthier decisions, you it's a positive thing. And you know, if you feel like you are missing something, or you go to the doctor, which you should go to the doctor and, you know, have your blood drawn and see what you do need. Because even if you're vegan, it doesn't mean you're healthy either. There's so many vegan things that are vegan. Oreos are vegan. Oh, I love Oreos. Like, I could be a fat girl all day being vegan, but like French fries are vegan.
I didn't know
like,
Oreos
come
were
on.
vegan.
Coca-Cola's
Yeah,
vegan,
Oreos,
right?
French
Wait,
fries.
there's no.
No.
What was that?
So like
There's
the
no
cream
animal
in the middle of the
products.
Oreo isn't actually made with dairy?
It's heaven, isn't
No.
it?
The middle
Isn't
stuff
that the most amazing news, though?
The middle stuff is just sweet toothpaste, bro. That's what it is.
Well,
Is that right?
well, okay then. I guess if Oreos are on the menu, I'm going full vegan. That's a deal.
You remember that Oreo cheesecake I made in the first video I did with you guys? Those were Oreos.
that's
Those were
right.
regular Oreos.
I had your bar.
And those are regular Oreos. Okay.
What did
Sweet
What did you have?
Sweet is right. Actually.
I don't think Joaquin can hear me, but I had your bars, the bars you made.
Oh, the cookie bars? The protein bars?
The protein
Yeah.
bars. Those are good.
Thank you.
Yeah, so do you sell like your snacks, or where can people buy from you directly? Like, do you ever like have pop-ups to sell either meals or because you do work at Bridge, right?
So I was when I was in the Bay, but now I'm working on getting into a commercial kitchen out here. But, you know, I was selling plates out of my mama's house, and that went pretty well. But, I mean, like, the best way to do business with me or to pre-order from me right now is just to contact me directly, and my number is literally plastered all over my social media pages.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're not in the Bay Area anymore? What? I didn't catch
No.
that part. I'm sorry. I got dropped from my cell phone service.
No,
earlier.
I'm in Stockton now.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What? I wanted to
Stockton,
talk
what
about
up?
music. Oh,
What is what? What did he say?
He wanted to talk about your music.
Yes.
So are you? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are you self-taught? Did you sing in choir? How did you come into music?
I have sang in choirs a long time ago. When I was growing up, I grew up in the church. But I mean, I didn't learn how to sing well. I think just over time, just like falling in love with music and certain artists, just like, you know, just singing, just constantly. I'm always constantly singing, like no matter what I'm doing, if I'm cooking, cleaning, or like crafting, or making something, painting, doing art. Like no matter what I'm doing, I'm always singing something. And over time, I just got better, I think. And then I just decided that I wanted to perform.
Who's your
People were
favorite?
telling me that. Huh? My
no, go ahead.
favorite
Yeah, go ahead.
singer?
Yeah, like who's one of your inspirations?
I think Khalid.
Khalid.
Right now, I would have to say Khalid is my favorite singer right now.
I have not heard of
Send me your
location, let's focus on communicating, 'cause I just need the time and place to come through.
Ooh.
I love him.
Sing it, lady.
That was like the only song my son would just like fall asleep to. Like I could just put that song on when he was little and he just fall asleep.
Aside from talent shows in Richmond, where else do you like to perform?
Well, when we had the restaurant open, we had live shows there. I haven't done much performing besides that. Like I'm literally just getting my feet wet, and people have been asking me to check out their music or to come to a studio. So I'm just like, I'm really gonna, focus on writing my own songs, and I have. Like I really just took some time out and worked on my own music, and I even started rapping a little bit.
No way.
So yeah, I was like, I didn't even know I could rap.
Well, I know who to call on once I'm in the middle of recording my album.
Yeah, I mean, like if you need vocals, hit me up. Or if you want me to do a feature, I could do that too.
Oh yes.
Does it come naturally since like do you okay? Well, 2-part questions. Do you write your own songs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've been writing for a long time, but I never thought that I would be like performing my own songs.
So when you like you say you do write your own songs, so when it comes to like you said rapping, like is it in a sense, does it just come naturally if you already because it's essentially poetry, right? I mean, I could ask what
you know what. That's exactly what it is for me. It is just poetry, like just to a really dope beat. And I mean, that's all. I mean, cause I love to write poetry. That's why I started writing. Is when I was in elementary school, I started writing poetry, and I used to perform poetry, other people's poetry, like Maya Angelou, and I was in a program called Excel, and we used to do little performances all over town, in different schools and the civic auditorium, and I used to always write my own poetry. And when you're in that vibe, there's always some kind of beat in your head, or a rhythm, or a melody, or a flow. It's always a flow and a vibe. So you catch that, it's easy to turn that into a rap.
Yeah. What's your favorite song to listen to while you're cooking?
Right now, it's probably Meg Thee Stallion, her Captain Hook song, or Danny Lee, Can't Relate. Those are probably my favorite songs right now.
Because I know this from myself, because I like to cook. I don't know what it was, but I wanted to go to a culinary school after high school, and I ended up not following that path. But I'm always cooking. I especially now with the pandemic, more, and I noticed there's a difference when I'm cooking in a good mood, as far as like I don't know what it is. It's something you can't really explain with words, but it definitely, just being in a good mood adds to the meal.
It does. Like I burnt Pop-Tarts like being in a bad mood. So like, yeah, it's definitely like, being in a good place when you're cooking, like in a good mindset, feeling good and being happy and loving what you're doing, right, and being excited about what you're about to eat.
That's why I feel home cooked is the way to go. Like if you really I always advocate for cooking at home, especially since I have so much fun doing it. But like, I don't know, it's just when like the Gordon Ramsay shit, seeing the chef yelling at some poor guy who's underpaid, Yeah,
but like it's like take your time, don't rush it, have use some care, like be gentle with it, really pay attention to what you're doing, like get into it, like zone into it like you zone in when you're playing video games, when you're killing aliens or something, you got to really just like focus.
Yeah.
It takes focus.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that I see in like people, like for example, my brother, when he changed his diet to plant-based, especially back 5 years ago. I mean, it's crazy how there's a lot more options for plant-based diet people now, or gluten-free people now. Like it seems like there's a lot more pop-ups opening up. People like yourself are doing business. How long have you been in business now?
About I want to say 3 years now.
3 years now. So like before that, 5 years ago, like I said, there really wasn't a whole lot of options for vegans.
There's a bigger demand now, and that's mostly because we're not taking it from the establishment no more. We're not allowing them to lie to us or tell us that milk is making our bones healthy and that we need protein from meat to make us strong, or that these products are healthy in any type of way. And the FDA had to start to regulate on these people, like, you guys can't have these claims anymore because it's not true. And you'll notice that if you watch these meat ads or dairy ads, and the terminology that they use, they try to be fancy with it because they can't promote that it's good for you in any kind of way.
Yeah, I said this to a friend a while back. They're gonna I don't know, find a way to like Coca-Cola, vegan and gluten-free. Like,
Hey, yeah, no word. No, it's coming. It's gonna be like free range Pepsi and shit. It's not. it's not a game out here.
Free range Pepsi.
What's crazy? Like the whole free range thing. I heard as long as they can see the grass.
Hey,
it is some baloney. Like for real.
They can see the grass from their enclosures. Like that's free. or as long as there's like open. Open. I forgot how they explain
No,
it.
there's a difference. See, they have some wordplay for you. They got a cage free, and then they got free range. So free range, they're supposed to be able to go, wherever all of the farm. They're not supposed to be trapped inside. But cage free just means that they're not inside of little cages.
It's
cage free Sprite.
There you go.
I love it. So you know what? We could be branding agents. We can just put a whole new light on all these large corporations and really drive these marketing campaigns like nobody's ever seen.
Are you like, so part of why you went obviously was for health, but was it also
Starbucks introduces its new vegan mocha latte.
They have
made
it
with
though.
soy milk.
They have it.
Yeah, but they don't call it vegan. That's the problem.
What for you? You said it's like I was saying right now. It was also a big part of it to be healthier. You want to be around for your kid, but was it also because of the animals? Like, cause, I met some vegan. I met a vegan at a bar one time. He was telling me about how his life has changed, and he told me, I don't really give a fuck about the animals, but it's I was just turned down like, okay, all right, well. For you, did it have something to do about the animals and how they're like treated? Like that have a big effect on why you? Because it
did originally it did because I saw how animals are being treated in factory farming. I knew a little bit about that from being a hippie, but I didn't know all the in-depth thing, like how these people treat animals and the life that they live, and how they live in all this filth and fear and pain and infections and just basically not being cared for. I don't feel like any being any of God's creatures should live like that, period. But I'm 100% against factory farming, but I was kind of torn though, because I went vegan because I was just so tired of not having control over my weight. Now like I know like I can gain 20-30 pounds and get it off when I feel like it, if I'm not lazy. But that's that's originally why. But like, also I was torn because I've always wanted to learn archery. I always wanted to go hunting. I have indigenous roots, so a lot of my family hunting is something they used to do. So I definitely wanted to get into my roots and learn all that stuff. But
what tribe?
I still plan to. Have you ever heard of Quechan? Yuma, Arizona, the Quechan tribe.
Oh yeah. I've heard of them.
Yeah. So my grandfather was born on that reservation.
So that's one of the things that I also I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast before, but when I was working for an alarm company, I'd meet people all the time, and there was a client of mine who I went to visit, and I didn't go to visit, I went to go work on his house, but he's in his 60s, older man, and this was like about a year ago, and 3 years ago he had a heart attack, and he really loved having steaks and ribs. He loved eating meat. He loved grilling. And his doctor told him that he had to cut back on meat, but he really didn't want to. He was kind of like, I really don't want to give up meat. So what he did is he found out that wild game is way better. If you want to still eat meat, that's the healthiest meat to eat. So he completely just learned how to shoot, and he went hunting, and he actually gave me a couple pounds of some elk that he got. And he said that going hunting changed his life. Like the wild game was so much better for you. His blood cholesterol dropped. His blood pressure dropped. Everything just went back to what it should have been.
Yeah, I mean, even people like Ronda Rousey, she raised the animals for dinner. And my family, we go fishing. Like I was out. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook. On my Facebook, I was out crawdad fishing with my family last week, and I racked up. I looked a hot mess, but I was racking them in.
I just got a fishing license, so
hey,
yeah, I just got one. So I got a fishing rod as a gift, so I'm gonna be out there too, big old fat man in these swamps.
You know, vegans are against fishing too, fishing and hunting. I don't subscribe to that. I mean, I guess I subscribe to what I want to, but I guess that's what everybody has to do for themselves.
Yeah, no, I get the whole, you know, I can see why. You know, I have with my family for family events, you know, with the Mexican families, it's big to slaughter, you know, like goats for a big family event. And growing up, I saw how they did it, and yeah, it can be hard. You know, I can see why people are against it, especially if you can survive without it. You know. And the thing is, like, I remember feeling sad when they were like killing this goat that I befriended, and it would be sad during the whole time. But as soon as I tasted that dish, god damn.
but let me ask you this, baby. I mean, wasn't it a little bit depressing, like as they let the goat's blood drip upon the pentagram and they started saying the ancient sayings and such? Like that must have made you a little uncomfortable, right? Like, what are they doing to smoke?
Really.
Who are they praying to?
You know, when that's what when that's normal, when that's what you know. Like I grew up, my grandparents, they had a little property. I don't know if you know anything about Stockton, but in Boggs Track, and we had ducks and geese and chickens. And my grandmother, like, I'll be outside and she just casually snap a chicken's neck, and that's dinner. And that was just normal. That was just regular. This is how you know how it was done.
I had a student. I had a student who told me, a high school student who told me that she became a vegan. She did eat meat, but she didn't eat pork. And she told me the story of why. She had a grandfather who had a farm somewhere out in Fresno, or, you know, and she had a pet pig. And she said that at some point, for whatever reason, they decided the pig had gotten too big for it to live in the city apartment, obviously, and so let's let Grandpa keep it. The pig's name, I think, was named Snowball, or, well, let me not steal from George Orwell, but I'm just going to call it Snowball for the purposes of the story, because I can't remember its actual name. But she said that she went over to her grandfather's one weekend with her family, and they're eating breakfast. It was like, you know, eggs and bacon and toast, and she's like, "This is delicious. Thank you for cooking breakfast, Grandpa." And Grandpa goes, "So what do you think of Snowball?" And then she's like, "What do you mean? I love Snowball." He goes, "No, I mean, how do you think he tastes?" And then she's immediately heartbroken, and she's like, "You cooked my pet pig?" And she said her mother was like, "Dad, why would you cook her pet pig?" And he was like, I didn't think it would be I thought that, I mean, that's why you sent the pig over here. I'm sorry." She didn't speak to her grandfather, apparently, for like a few years after that. And to this day, she still can't eat pork. Poor child. Poor child.
You know, the flavor is what made me not feel the sadness anymore. Like, dang, when can we get another one? You know, I don't know.
How has your business been affected?
On the flip side of that,
no.
I was reading a blog some time ago. Someone had shared this with me. It was on a blog I think it's called "Not Always Right" or "Not Always Working," and it was about this this employee got pulled into his boss's office. His boss was a practicing Muslim. You know, they don't eat pork in their religion, and he thought he had done something wrong. He thought he was in trouble. He thought his boss was going to, you know, because it was very hush-hush, close the door, lock the door behind them sort of thing. And his boss just kind of goes, do you like bacon? And then he's like, yeah, I like bacon. I eat it. And he was like, oh, thank goodness. So then his boss proceeds to explain to him that there was some sort of company event where he accidentally ate something that had bacon in it and he had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
think we lost.
I think we lost everybody. He had no clue. I can finish that story. The guy, he asked his, he talked to his employee, and he's like, he was a Muslim, and he had this dish at a party, some kind of party, and he was like, wow, this is delicious. I don't know what's in this. The dish had bacon. And he was so like guilty that he's like, man, is this what you motherfuckers have been eating all along? He was just like so like a whole new world was shown to him, and he was blown away that he kind of started eating bacon on the down low. That's the story he was saying before we lost him. What's up, Gaspar? What's going on, man? You had a question. What was your question?
Well, she dropped out as well.
You're not supposed to say that.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe I can answer it. I don't know.
Phil can work his editing magic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna ask how her
the business has been affected.
By
Yeah.
COVID.
I was wondering that too, if she's just hazmated up right now or how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of. You know what? To be honest, I have seen more people who sell food at home. Like it's been kind of booming. But I guess you could ask her.
There we are. She's back.
There we go. She's back.
We'll cut this middle part out.
What's that?
Gaspar had a question for you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering, how has your business been affected by the apocalypse?
It has been greatly affected because, like you guys said, you know how you said you had to cook so much. Like people are so tired of cooking that I'm getting referrals saying, "Oh, I'm so tired of this person's so tired of cooking that they want me to they want you to meal prep for them because they're just sick of cooking." So it's been a blessing in a way. I've been getting a lot of phone calls from people that I know because I'm back in my hometown, and they want my food. They want me to cook for them, and that's the only way that it's affected my business. And I mean, with my other business, I'm an Arbonne consultant, and I work from home on that. Like I can work from anywhere, so it really hasn't affected me that much personally.
Yeah, I was just telling him. I know for a lot of people who are independent caterers or who are running food businesses from their home. I see that for some the ones that I know, it's been good because a lot of restaurants they're open. Some of them are still closed. A lot of places are opening up now, but for a long time. There was this guy selling home cooked Mexican food out of his backyard, and I bought from him a couple of times. There's just all these.
Like who doesn't want a home cooked meal right now, like here and there?
Exactly.
Even
or just to go out. Yeah, just to go out and get a meal outside. It's pretty great because obviously the fast food places are open, but they're always going to be there. Like they're. The world's going to be ending, and they're still going to be serving.
Apparently, I was weird about how McDonald's is an essential business.
Yeah. And,
I'm an essential worker at McDonald's, but
I mean, when you're having like a depressed day, what doesn't hit harder than like a double cheese? I mean, I'm just saying like.
No, I feel it because I'll be in my low periods, and I'm just I want something processed and full of sugar or super salty. Yeah. When I'm in my feelings.
Yeah, what's your favorite fast food place? Honestly, this is gonna sound crazy. My favorite fast food place is McDonald's, and I know that sounds crazy because what about In-N-Out? Like, of course, I like In-N-Out too, but like. Something about McDonald's is the nostalgia of it. Because when we were kids, we had. It's crazy because when I was a kid, I thought everyone had chicken coops in their backyard, and I thought everyone had like a
right.
Yeah, I thought everyone had like a chicken coop with and a vegetable garden. Like, yeah, everybody's got one, right? Because
it's just like who pays for eggs? Like that's a thing.
Yeah,
like I thought that was the store just for looks.
Yeah, I thought the eggs at the store were just for people who like, you know, who live in apartments. Like, I don't know. I don't know, you know, because the reason why I believe that's my first house was there was well, I could see into my neighbor's backyard. They had chain link fence, and they had a vegetable garden and a chicken coop, and we also had that. So I just figured that was normal, you know. And until I got older, but when we were kids, like that's why like McDonald's was the ultimate treat. Like we only got McDonald's when like, you know, when Dad was balling. On payday, and like when we were, it was like the greatest thing we could get as a family. And I think that's why once I became an adult, I was like, oh my God, I'm working now. I can eat this all the time.
That's true, but when you're a family of 5, like that's a $60-$70 trip to McDonald's for dinner.
Yeah, and
well, back then it was cheap.
At least today.
Yeah, back then you could get a Big Mac meal for $5. Yeah,
man.
yeah.
If you're not going to McDonald's, you might as well go to Red Lobster.
Right.
Yeah, and now it's like so expensive. It's just as it's about the same price as going somewhere where you're gonna get a really good meal. You know, like yeah, because it's not fast food is not cheap anymore. That's why it's fast. You know, it's not
totally
cheap.
pop ahead or Postmate like a farm to table restaurant, you know, easily, or go pick it up.
Right.
It's not that hard. Like,
no.
you know, I think that's mostly when it comes to being a vegan or a vegetarian, or whenever you're trying to change your diet or do anything with your diet, it's all about having a plan and sticking to it. Like if you don't have a plan, like even if you come up with this plan like an hour, 2 hours before your meal, like have a plan or try to be working on, you know, what am I going to have, or where can I go, or where am I going to be at, and what's going to be around there, or call a place ahead and see what's on their menu. Or maybe just like, you know, when you're feeling in your fat, hungry, greedy mode, or when you have the munchies, start just looking at different menus and seeing what are the healthy options, or ask them. Like a lot of times restaurants, especially your local businesses that are fine dining, they'll make they'll make adjustments to some dishes and accommodate you if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. A lot of times, I know when I was working in restaurants, I had to do that all the time.
Yeah, you got them to modify dishes for you?
All the time.
Oh, that's cool.
And,
see, that's not all of them are that cool though, unfortunately.
I had to do a lot of customers too, because, you know, and when you're in the fine dining industry, people with a lot of money, they can afford, you know, a lot of better diets.
Yeah. That's becoming more popular now, right? Like it's kind of like I see it as the new challenge for like the culinary world to like make this dish interesting without meat. Like that's the new challenge.
I think that what's trending now is like luxury. I think everybody, like no matter what budget you're on,
Mm-hmm.
you want to feel like you're at least living luxury, you're living your best life.
Yeah.
So I think that that's what's really mostly trending, and people wanting to know what genuinely is going to make them happy and whole. To be filled.
Yeah. Are you Joaquin, you're back on? Okay, cool. Sorry, I don't know. I thought I heard your voice. Yeah. For as far as like with cuisine style, like I know you said plant-based, but like what style would you say it is? Is it like French, or is it like what do you cook, like just American?
I make a lot of multicultural type of dishes, and even some stuff is fusion because it's vegan, and I take a lot of creative initiative in some stuff. But like I do like I have a red Thai curry. I have tamales on my menu. I have scones on my menu. I have this killing it strawberry salad on there, and I have an array of different things like fresh fruit platters, crudité, from almost everywhere. And also, like, if there's something that you want me to try to make vegan or something you want specifically, like, I make custom dishes for people, or I make custom menus for my clients. So, like, I do a lot of bit of everything. It mostly depends on the client.
Okay. Yeah, but you can do almost it, because that's the cool thing, because there are so many dishes from every culture that you could make vegan easy, like curry. You don't really need meat to enjoy a good curry. I mean,
No.
it's all in the sauce. Like, that's a really easy dish to convert.
Oh yeah. It's and the simpler things are, the better. Like, I like using a little bit, just a few ingredients, and keeping it really simple, classic, authentic, traditional. I like traditional food. I like rustic food. I like I love farm to table. Like, I love going to farmers markets and grocery shopping, or I'll go to a Sprouts, or I'll go to wherever I can find the freshest produce when I get these meal preps, and I'll do it the day before. So you're getting like, the highest quality that I can of ingredients that I can find.
That's one of the funnest things for me is going to the store and just seeing what's good, and then deciding to make a dish out of that. Like, that's one of my favorite, that's one of my pastimes. I feel like such a fat guy for thinking that, but I'm sure I'm not alone, right?
No. I mean, anybody that says that you are is probably not being honest with themselves. Period.
Oh yeah, it's so much fun, especially because I've been trying to. I've been telling. I always show. Especially I did today. I show Joaquin like all these things I've been cooking, just because I know he says he's not the best cook, but I always think it's awesome to like teach people to cook, because you can really control. Like, one of the things for me, because I for a long time suffered with high blood pressure, and I used to eat a lot of like salt. Like, I used to like my food very salty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was part of the problem. I'm also overweight, but that was one of the problems about it. And when I decided to start cooking my own food, it was great because I can manage how much salt I put in. But once you really look into what's good for you and what's bad for you, you can really modify it so much that
You notice if you're eating out all the time, or other people are cooking for you, and you're just like, damn, I just don't know how I gained all this weight. It's because you really didn't have any control of what's going into your system. And even if you use portion control, you don't really know what's all in there.
Right. That's what the doctor told me, because she asked me, what do you eat? And I'm like, well, here and there I'll eat a bag of hot Cheetos. Like, how is here and there? My fingers are like red. She's asking me. But like, one of the things, and this is something that I didn't realize, but she said those rotisserie chickens that you buy at grocery stores, she's like, even if they're from the healthiest whatever health food store, like, those are usually super salty, that you want to stay away from those. And I used to eat those a lot.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just pick it up and go. Like, you're hungry and you don't want to eat fast food. That's my mentality. I don't want to eat fast food.
Like, for a lot of people who grew up in like low income houses, that's close to a home cooked meal when mom's tired.
Yeah. And it's so easy to just pick it up. And you feel good about it because you're avoiding fast food. But there's a lot of, I'm sure you can speak on this, there's a lot of, like, they're kind of hidden as sold to us as health foods, but they're really not.
Oh yeah, like I would get really testy, like some of the things that people offer me or buy me, like to eat. And I'm just like, you didn't even bother to read what's on the back of this, and you're gonna give it to me. You know what I'm going through.
Give us an example.
Like say someone just buys, like, let me see,
granola.
Oh my God, like a simple granola bar, and it can have like milk powder or something in it. Like, what if I'm trying to avoid dairy? Like, I have allergies, I have some allergic to, not allergic, but I have some
intolerance.
Some tolerance issues. I have asthma, so whenever I introduce dairy into my system, it affects my breathing. And
whoa, I thought I was the only asthmatic on the planet that reacted to dairy. I've never met another. I mean, I grew out of my asthma, but as a kid, I wasn't allowed. I had a special note that I had to pass the cafeteria folks saying that, don't give me any milk. They had to give me juice as a substitute.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the moment I drink some dairy, I start coughing and wheezing. Sometimes my nose would even get runny for whatever reason. I mean, I grew out of it. I can drink milk now, but when I was younger, it was crazy.
Yeah, I get so, it's frustrating sometimes because like, even like when I was going to Starbucks before we started to like boycott Starbucks recently, like I would forget sometimes like, oh, I have to tell them, I don't want, cow milk in my coffee today. Like, can I have almond milk or coconut milk? Like I'll forget, just because I want something as simple as a latte and get poisoned somehow.
And that's the thing. Like for example, even soy milk. From what I've heard, soy isn't the healthiest thing to eat. I mean, that's what I've read on some places. Well, more so for men. That's why it's crazy because there's a lot of stuff that contradicts everything. It contradicts this and that, and that's why it's really hard. Like one of the things that I really started paying attention to was, for the sodium levels and the sugar and how much sugar. That's one of those things like for granola, how much sugar really is in like one granola bar. Like holy shit!
It's just like meat. Meat is even worse for you than soy is. If you're gonna if you want to compare the two together, but introducing too much soy to your system as a man, like you don't want, like it helps produce estrogen. Like a lot of cancer patients, women who or who are what do you call it? When they go through the change, they need more estrogen, and they have a lot of soy, eat a lot of yams, and as a man, like you don't want a lot of that in your system. You don't. No. But if you're gonna say like, oh, should I eat this soy burger or should I eat this burger? What's healthier? It's not. It's never gonna be the burger.
Right. And then that's society. Whatever it tells you, like the burger is gonna make you strong.
Yeah, how? Explain that.
Exactly.
Like how? Because it has protein. Like so does everything else. Like everything else, except water and soda.
How do you fight? How do you deal with cravings?
You know what? The hardest craving for me has been cheese. Like oh my god! Like I used to be so in love with cheese. Like I used to be really popular for this mac and cheese recipe I used to make. And when I went vegan, that was the hardest thing for me. But how I cope with that is I really love hummus. I really love like guacamole, salsas, and yogurt dips and stuff like that. So instead of like using sour cream and other condiments and cheese, I try to use like creamy, different things that I can use in place of that to kind of like, make it a little bit yummy, jazz it up a little bit so I'm not missing out or feel like I'm missing out on any flavor or any creaminess or, some people use like nutritional yeast when they want a cheesy flavor. It's not really my jam, but, it works for a lot of people.
So substitution is, I guess, yeah. I asked that because I lose this fight all the time where I'm like, I can't stop eating like, potato chips. I've tried substitutes, but it's like instead I eat the substitute and then I just go and eat the potato chips as well. So things end up working.
You know what? So for that, yeah, I can relate to that because what I'll have to do sometimes, I have to pre-cut some fruits and apples, something crunchy. Because like when I'm bored or when I'm snacking, I need something crunchy or I need something now, like right now. And a lot of times if I pre-chop some veggies or pre-chop some fruit, like I have some veggies and hummus or I have some fruit and I like to make this yogurt dip. Just put a little bit of honey in some plain yogurt and, or a little bit of vanilla if you're feeling fancy. And it's delicious, or...
Celery and hummus? Oh my gosh.
Celery and hummus, carrots and hummus, green beans and hummus, sugar snap
broccoli
peas.
And hummus.
Broccoli.
I found that recently.
Yes.
I love oh man. One of my favorite things to do is with a meal for a long time was soda. Soda with a meal. Like it's so good when you're eating something. You just, you have a soda for the fizz. And I started to switch over to what are those called? LaCroix. And it's it is good. It wasn't the same. It was hard, but after a while, I'm not having soda for so much.
Yeah,
when I actually drink soda, I do feel the difference with like all that sugar. Like it makes your whole
makes your whole like I don't know. It was weird, but because I really
gives you the jitters, gives you like a sugar high.
A sugar high, and also like a weird sticky sensation inside my throat and my mouth.
Yeah,
and just, like, I feel the sugar.
She's having to clear your throat, all that mucus.
Yes.
Yeah.
What? That's something I heard, that like mucus, when you're not eating a lot of meat or a lot of processed stuff, because I felt mucus was just part of. That's something I've heard. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Well, when you detox your body from a lot of the junk that you put in it, like a lot of that mucus starts to clear up. Like when I'm 100% plant-based, like even my breathing is so much better, because you know how you have asthma or bronchitis, the mucus builds up in your lungs. And so when I detox my body, like I find my lungs are so much more open. Like when I'm on a bad diet, like I feel so much more weighed down. I have so much trouble breathing. Like when I was pregnant, I had the hardest time. Like I would wake up and have asthma attacks out of my sleep. And
No, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Actually,
were you vegan? You weren't vegan when you were pregnant, were you?
No, I didn't go vegan until my son was about 6 months old. He was just 6 months, and I was trying to get off this baby weight at the time.
You did mention it. He does. You said he loves bacon. Do you still have him eat meat on a daily basis?
I don't have him eat meat in general, but being back home and being around a lot of family members, like it's just so hard to just put up a fight, especially when he wants it. And the best way to teach them is just to teach them. My son, when I try to teach him this is that or that's the animal, he has no problem. He has no guilt. He does not care. He's like, oh, okay, I'm eating Peppa Pig. Cool. Like he has no moral compass right now. But
that
as far as health,
motherfucker is delicious.
I mean, it's already dead. It's not like me not eating it is gonna unkill it.
Yeah. That's one thing. Like you can't unkill the bacon. You cannot. That's just facts. I'm sorry. I mean, a lot of vegans might not like me and might hurt some people's feelings, but yeah, once let's go.
You might as well put it. The Native Americans, whenever they, some groups of Native Americans I know, whenever they went and they killed the deer and they went to eat it, they thanked the nature spirit responsible for bringing the deer to them, and in order to honor the deer, they used every single part of the deer for something. The skin for warmth, the hooves for tools, the meat for ingesting. I believe that it should not be for all. It should not all be for naught. Like life should not be wasted. That's why I try to do as much as I can. You should not waste a life. It's so precious. It's about respect,
every life. Yeah. And like for my son, like I just try to do what every other mom tries to do. Try to give him, as much nutrition as I can. Like he loves Green Machine. He loves green smoothies and protein shakes. He loves eating healthy. He loves to eat fruits. He loves broccoli. He loves, some vegetables. Everything don't make him happy, but he does have a love for healthy foods. And I sneak a lot of stuff in there, and he doesn't notice.
What's his favorite vegetable?
His favorite broccoli, hands down, is broccoli.
It's good stuff.
And he loves apples. And blueberries.
Oh yeah, that. I'll say this from experience, like for any listeners who like the one thing that I love whenever I do, here and there I'll make plant-based dishes. I made one today. Whenever you do make something, that the best, in my experience, replacement for meat, if you want to get that meat flavor still, is mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's like, man, you can literally make anything. I mean, not anything, but for the most part. Do you use a lot of mushrooms with her?
Me personally, I don't because the last relationship I was in, the guy he did not like mushrooms, so I just found a lot of ways around that. It's kind of tough being a vegan. I made some really good mushroom tacos once, But then I had a friend of mine make me a mushroom taco. Well, I didn't have him, but he made me a mushroom taco and was way better than mine. So, I got some work to do.
What were you saying, Joaquin?
I was just laughing along with y'all. Honestly,
You do? Do you do some fitness?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like I love to walk. I like to go on jogs. I love to do yoga. I was at the park this morning doing some yoga. I did a pose today. I have this book, this yoga book, and it has a list of different poses. I was like, I'm gonna try to do something, that I haven't done yet. I got a picture that I'll share it with you guys. It's me, and my elbow is in the center of my foot. And I'm holding my hand, and I'm tilted to the side. It's crazy pose. It's on the cover of the book.
You sound like a living pretzel.
Yeah, it kind of looks similar to that. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I got it on the first try, but I do a lot of stretching. And throughout the day, not just I'll get up and stretch, but throughout the day, it's just I'll do a few poses here, a few poses there, do some stretching. I love the hula hoop. So that's been my newest workout addition is hula hooping to some music.
That's something fun that is also exercise. That's probably the best. That's probably the best way to do exercise. Like Gaspar, he loves soccer, and that's his form of exercise.
Yes,
that's. I think that's the best way to get into is to find something you really like doing and make it a habit so you could lose weight. Because sometimes just exercise sucks. I love hitting the punching bag. But I'm also non-violent, so it's.
Yeah,
go ahead,
when the gyms and the clubs are open, there's always tennis and swimming and all that other fun stuff you can do.
Oh yeah,
dancing,
yes, my friends. Yeah, we got together earlier and we were dancing. That was fun.
I was gonna ask something. Well, more. It wasn't really. There's a little story that I wanted to share that one of my old bosses told me. He grew up on a dairy farm, had dairy, cows for years, and he was around cows, and it was his father's farm, so he did a lot of free work. And this is if you're looking to reasons to not eat at fast food, and I know I just said they were my favorite fast food place, but the story was, his dad had a set of cows put away that were sick, and they were probably on their way out, and they were in a separate enclosure, and this guy came in. He was I forgot what he said it was, but he basically brought in meat for McDonald's, to be distributed to certain areas, and this was near Modesto, or not Modesto, actually SoCal. So this guy came in. He was from McDonald's. Whoever sold meat to McDonald's, he's like, I whatever, I can't get any meat from these suppliers right now, and I'm looking for cows. Can you sell me some cows? He's like, well, this is a dairy farm. He was like, yeah. Can you show me a few? He showed him around. He's like, these are these price, these are this price. He's like, yeah, too pricey. What about those over there? He's like, yeah, those are about to die, and I don't think those are edible anymore. He's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever, just name your price. He's like, yeah, but they're sick. They have sicknesses. They're not edible. Yeah, just he wrote him a check. Would you take this much? He was like, well, I mean, they're gonna die anyways. Sure. He's like, yeah, cool. And then he sold it to them. So that's those became Big Macs and fucking
quarter pounders.
The entire world has gotten into a culture where you buy it as cheap as we can, and we produce as much as we can and sell it to people we don't care about, no matter how harmful it could be to them. And that's why we work so hard, and people coming from the types of backgrounds that we come from, to give our communities the best products that we can possibly give them. because they're not going to take care of us. They're going to feed us dying cows. That's sad. That's so sad. Like you want to eat it, it's dying. Like would you eat roadkill or a possum that got ran over? Some people will.
I mean, I'm from the South. I dang near know. I definitely know some people will. It's like, oh, is that possum we just ran over? That's supper.
Or that somebody else ran over. They don't care if they ran over or if it got ran over yesterday. Some people will eat it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. If it's like a good deer, yeah, I might, but yeah, no, I can see if it's a, I said this the other day because they're talking about how we might have a meat shortage because of the pandemic, and food's going to become a real issue, according to some people that some stuff I've been reading, like because everyone's been like stockpiling, that they're trying to bring in more stuff as it goes, and that's where I see the importance of like having your own little fruit or vegetable garden.
Yes, I think that people are really scared. That's exactly what they should start doing. I mean, my family, we've always had a little green thumb here and there, and grown a little bit of vegetables, collard greens, tomatoes, whatnot. But I think that this epidemic, it has pushed a lot more of my family members to start their own gardens. Like I know I have a cousin in Oakland right now. She has her whole patio full of like potatoes, and she has a little apartment. So like nowadays, there's no excuse. Like wherever you are, there is definitely a way to grow like even indoors. Even if it's some basil and some green onions.
And it's a big difference. I'm sure since you said your family has a green thumb, huge difference from what you find at the store. Like I have zucchinis, and I really don't like squash of any kind. But when it's homegrown and you catch it right at the point where it's not too big, because I don't know for people listening, green thumb people, when the vegetable, when you let it grow too big, it kind of loses the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, and if you kind of catch it at the right time,
yeah,
it's
at
its
peak.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's just right. And like I have a lot of green onions coming in, and I like the barbecue, so it's like throwing fresh green onions from the garden on the grill. It's like, oh man.
Oh man, yeah, that's the best.
Yeah, it's something that I feel like. Because my parents, where they came from, like they grew everything themselves. They lived in the rural part of Mexico, so it's I always wanted to have some kind of area where and it's like you just said now. Like I have friends who have apartments who have little plants or whatever growing inside. Just which it's possible now. Luckily, it's always been, but it's like people are getting more. That's what we had Urban Tilth. They teach you all about that. You can literally grow, like you said, spices or even peppers.
Yeah,
you literally grow that in
you can even grow medicine like herbs. Like
yeah, you can.
Totally. No, you really could. That's definitely a thing.
What are you talking about? As in like mint?
Yeah, I mean, like there's so many different medicinal herbs that you can grow. I've been buying them though, different like Latino markets. Like you can find herbs for arthritis, for asthma, for anything almost. Anything that you can go to the doctor for, you can almost find herb to take care of that.
I actually had this. One of my friends posted this thread. She had, I believe her mom had COVID-19, and she said she cured it with plants, and she listed each and everything she used to cure her mom of it. It was not easy, but it worked, and it was like a lot of superfoods. Do you incorporate superfoods into your diet?
Oh yes, most definitely. Like I love going to go get like micro sprouts, microgreens, and a lot of cancer patients they have the micro broccoli, and that has a lot of cancer fighting agents in the sprouts, and a lot of
What is it called again?
Broccoli. Like, you know how you grow broccoli? The sprouts that grow from the seeds? Just that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the little, like little sprouts from different veggies. Like, there's, like, you can do micro cilantro, micro beets, micro alfalfa. There's so many different kinds. My favorite kind is sunflower sprouts, but I just love the way they taste. And I put them on different salads in my menu.
I put them on my smoothies.
Yeah?
Yeah, sometimes. The ones that are unsalted, the ones that are just sprouting, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're yummy.
Oh, yeah. It's just, I love, it's sometimes it is hard to be consistent. And I think that's probably the issue with a lot of people, because healthy food tastes good and it makes you feel good. It really does. Mm-hmm. But it's just hard sometimes to continue when, like, you're like I said, you're really stressed out. You had a long day at work, and then McDonald's, that big old M of salvation, is just calling your name.
Yeah, but it's all about, what do you want more? Like, do you want to be healthier more, or do you want to be like more sad, more fat, and more depressed?
and of course, if you ask, like, here, and I'm speaking from experience. If you ask me that, of course, I do want to live more, but I had to talk with someone the other day about this. It's like your little internal dialogue when you're coming up with excuses of why it's okay to have that. That's where it gets hard, and you really got to, like, train yourself to convince yourself you
can't be that hard on yourself. But what you should work on more is being more intentional about where you go and what you do and how you what you put inside your body. Just be more intentional, like have like standards, just like when you're dating, you have to have higher standards for yourself when you date the next person. Like, no, I'm not going to let that happen again, because last time I had that happen, that was a doozy.
That's a whole other 3-hour episode if we're going to get into mine.
No, but I mean, like, it's just like with your diet. It's a different, you have to have a certain relationship with how you treat your diet. Like, you have to have certain standards for what you're going to allow in your life. It's like, am I going to allow all these diabetic foods into my life? Am I going to allow all this crap, into my life? Am I going to eat 3 boxes of Oreos watching Netflix tonight? I don't know. Is that a good decision? Like, just be intentional on making, better, good, healthy decisions. And
amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how about just 2 Oreo cookies instead of an entire box?
They
tell you how many calories each one is worth.
And I'm not saying that that's a substantial snack, but I mean, you can also, after that, have an apple and a banana and an orange.
That's right. And the banana is super filling. You could actually, depending on, like, the size of the banana, you could just, eat a banana, and that you'd be fine for till the next meal. You know what I mean?
I've seen YouTubers claim that they survive entirely off of fruit or entirely off of bananas. Wow. So you can have an all banana diet. If that's all you want to do is bananas, do you? Yeah. I don't know how well that's going to work for everybody, but for some people, that's their lifestyle. True.
I gotta think that if all you're eating is one specific kind of fruit per day, you're cheating yourself on other nutrients, though, because every fruit and vegetable is chock full of different vitamins, right?
I believe that too. I do. You're missing out on a lot.
You may satiate the hunger by eating, like, a banana a meal, and that's all you have, but you're probably not getting all that you need.
That's true.
Do you refer to any, like, cookbook or like Mayo Clinic for certain things that as far as nutrition goes?
There is only one person who I can say that I will go to fact check, and that would be somebody like Dr. Sebi, who is a complete professional who knows all about alkaline dieting and everything that the body needs and doesn't need. Like, he knows about what vegetables are man-made and what vegetables are natural, that, we're here when God created the earth, whatever you believe, like how this, with the original fruits and vegetables, organic heirloom vegetables that we should be eating instead of, like, man-made, processed chemical science projects that we see in our grocery stores today.
Like our
What-
corn is essentially the product of specific genetic breeding and
Mutation.
manipulation.
Yeah. A lot of seeds are these days, and I don't think the general public necessarily knows that, or yeah.
It's scary to say. Maybe don't even care. Like that's.
Yeah, I wanted to say
That's
that, but I really just didn't want to say that.
No, I mean, there's some people. There are some people in
that
this
don't
world
really
who will
care.
go, you know what? I could either really take care of my body, or I could just enjoy myself until the ride is over. And that's that's their decision to make. Like
Right.
give me another
I-
cheeseburger and call it a day.
I used to think that way. Like, I'm just gonna. At one point, I'm not gonna lie, and that's look at me. That's why I gained so much weight, because I was like, 220, 230 at one point. I'm in the 320s now. It's like 100 pounds more. And I remember earlier, a few years ago, when I was thinking, when I started to gain the weight, I'm just going to enjoy myself. But then now that I'm here, now that I got done enjoying myself, what is there really to enjoy? Because other than the food and then the instant bliss that you have with the food, as far as enjoying, like, I love to dance, but I can't dance too much, or I'm going to break my ankles, or I'm going to crush somebody's toes, and I'm going to have a heart attack. Like, it's just, when it comes to enjoy, you really got to refine what enjoy means, because it's not really, that extra slice of cake really isn't worth it when you think about it in that terms. And I'm living in that regret right now.
Yeah, I look at it like this, like that extra slice of cake mentality, or that double scoop ice cream every night mentality. That's when you get to be 91. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I lived a good one. I'm 91.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad way to look at it, but I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with having a slice of cake after dinner. There's nothing wrong with having a slice of pie after dinner. You just don't want to do it every day after dinner. You don't make you don't want to make
I said
these
that
naughty
extra
things
slice of cake though.
bad habits. I mean, you just don't want to make them bad habits. It's okay to do these things. It's not going to hurt to do it once or twice, but to make it habitual, to abuse it, that's where we have to watch ourselves. Like, am I abusing this, or am I abusing myself? Like, what kind of gas do you want to put in your car?
Chevron,
exactly.
Techron,
Chevron or Arco.
Speaking, you want to see
like
abuse. You want to see abuse? Give
unleaded, leaded, or Supreme.
Yeah, if you can do Supreme, you would do Supreme. Every time.
Yep.
Give Gaspar what?
Give Gaspar Supreme.
No. I said if you want to see abuse, give Gaspar a bag of chips.
Oh yeah. Oh
Man,
it's like watching an.
I mean, give anybody a bag of chips. Do you see how many chips they put in the bags these days? They put like 3 chips in a bag.
Oh my God,
the rest air.
At least the chips are plant based.
No, but look, I've never seen someone devour chips the way I've seen Gaspar. Like, I've seen dudes that came out of warships to see their wives for the first time since they left for war. Not as much passion in that as Gaspar with the bag of chips.
Y'all gotta get that on camera and play that in slow motion and just like put some love making music in the background.
That would be classic.
I need to see that.
Man. That would be
all y'all comedians over there. Y'all, yeah, I have to see that.
That'll be the intro to the voice.
I gotta ask you, where can people find you on Instagram if they want to contact you to book you? Where can we find you?
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. But the best place to find me is on Instagram, call_me_culture, and I spell culture with a K. You can find me under Lilith Morningstar. I might not get to add you. I get so many friend requests, I just don't see them all. Like but Instagram is the best way to keep up with me. The best way to do business with me is to call me or text me directly. My phone number is 209-448-9802, and I plaster like all over social media. So like call me.
And you're available most like to
well, you can book me and we'll work something out. Like I typically have a pretty wide open schedule when it comes to work. I always make room for work, except for like when I have family gatherings or when I'm already booked for private events. So besides that, like I'm always down to do some work and help people out, whatever you need.
Right on. We appreciate you coming on. It was had a really good time talking to you.
Thanks for having me. I was so surprised. I was like, "They're on me."
No. We really appreciate having you on, and there's a lot of things you said that I know for sure I'll take into. It's really hard to change what brings you joy, but that's not always a good thing,
I mean, there's always new things that spark joy. You got to calm Marie. Wait, what's her name? That Asian lady who's she's sparking joy for everybody. I can't think of her name right now.
Sparking joy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know who? Yeah, her. Yeah, you gotta find things that spark.
The one.
Marie Kondo. Yeah, you gotta Marie Kondo your whole life.
Thank you, Gaspar.
Honey, you just need Marie Kondo, honey. She fixed your life.
I got you. Well, you know what? It's been really great talking to you, and as well as from the food. If people want to listen to see your music, do you have anything available for that yet?
Nope, not yet, but hopefully this summer, something.
So just tune into the conversation.
Yeah, just keep watching. keep watching. Follow me. There's gonna be some YouTube channels. Some more content going to YouTube. And I haven't been promoting that because I have been lazy with the YouTube. But soon, and hopefully I get as good podcasting as you guys.
Oh no! Well, when you get your podcast, you call us on. We'll be your guest.
Turn up. I will. No, I'm gonna call you. Off top. Okay, guys.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming. All right.
Thank you very much, guys.
Hey, go ahead, Joaquin. Send us off.
All right. This is Joaquin Xavier from The Voice Party. It doesn't get any better than that, and we are out.
Out.
Ow.
See you guys.